Hey, we're here with Aljay, the Part of the Culture podcast. I'm with I.am.deadlift, one of the strongest dudes in the world as far as deadlift goes. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. I always tell people it's an amazing time to be alive, especially now. It's exciting. It's different hearing it from everyone else's lens. You know, everyone has a different lens, right? Because
Yeah,
it's like hearing, how are you doing? COVID-19, the pandemic is happening. How can you be how can you say it's amazing?
yeah,
Well, you always have a choice seeing everything as an obstacle or an opportunity. And all I see is opportunity, man. So
for
exciting
sure.
time, definitely. How about you, my man? I see you
Uh,
hustling.
so, yeah, I'm going to keep hustling. I'm literally sitting in a property that I fixed and flipped. We have about 3-4 more days till it's done. So I'm definitely taking advantage of this opportunity. If it was not for COVID-19, I would have not learned as much as I learned on this property. So
You should be. I always look at your stuff, man. I supported you since day one. Ever since I met you, I love what you do, and I always think of I don't see it as part of the culture. I see it of like part of the cultural hustle is like,
yeah,
or part of the culture hustler. Like
yeah. So I do
so much
hustle.
hustle. Yeah, so much.
Yeah, I just love it. Grant Cardone, I still a little bit of like Grant Cardone's mantra. Like Grant Cardone was addicted to drugs. He said he got
Yeah.
high on whatever he could get his hands on. And I never had like a hard drug addiction, but I just felt myself always gravitating towards negative stuff. And so once I really hooked into like, okay, I enjoy hustling. You can't really get any negative feedback. I enjoy
Yeah.
helping build up the community. And then I just kind of put all my energy into that. And so a lot of people see me doing a lot, but it's actually like saving my life and keeping me sane. And, I have so much energy to give to the world. So
So are
that's,
you saying on the outside it looks like people are seeing you like hustling so much as if like, man, you're working way too much as a
yeah,
negative thing, as opposed to how you see it and you're like, dude, this is actually what nurtures me, right? And
yeah.
pushes me forward. Cool. That's why it should be part of the culture hustle or
I'm going to,
hustler. Something
we'll
like
change,
that, man. The
we'll,
evolution. The
It is
evolution.
it is an evolution. It's been a
Yeah.
beautiful evolution, and I do want to give credit to Aljay and his gym. It actually was one of the birthing places of this version of myself. So I do want to say thank you. For those that don't know, I coached at his gym, San Jose Barbell, and one of the first things before they made me get physically strong, they worked on my mental toughness and my mental strength, and even simple things like working on gratitude and counting the blessings and
Yeah.
just pouring into people and adding value to people and building up the community. Like I never thought like that in the sense that I did until I met um, I am Deadlift, Aljay, and Rambir, and I connected with those guys on such a huge level, and I feel like that was short of I had like raw talent. I definitely learned a lot from you guys, and I even paid Aljay to give me business coaching, and ever since then it was good. And Rambir helped me with business coaching, and so I just want to thank your gym and your establishment for doing that. And like all jokes aside, like as humbly as I can say it, thank you for real.
Dude, thank you for the opportunity. I'm grateful because it's always great to hear that and to be acknowledging that. But I want you to know that all we did, Rambier, us, your mentors, all we did is just show you the road, man. You're the one who walked it. So proud of you, dog. So good job. And talking
Appreciate
about gratitude, my house here, right
it.
there,
Wow.
dog.
Thank you. I don't have no sign. I have nothing on the walls anywhere. So I kind of wanted to go over today. I want to talk about three things. Again, I told you the goal of the podcast is to add value, and my
Yeah.
definition of that is to help people reach their goals. And so we are in the COVID-19 pandemic. Everyone is on lockdown unless you're an essential employee. Most people have to stay home
Yep.
unless you're going to the grocery store, and that's pretty much it, or going for walks around your neighborhood.
Yep.
Um, what have you? So your name is I Am Deadlift. I've seen that you are still deadlifting, but what do you recommend to your students and the people listening about how to stay on top of their fitness, or what's your routine? I've kind of fallen off a little bit, or a
So,
lot of bit. All I have done is run and walk. I haven't done no push-ups, nothing.
so I'll answer this in two parts. One, based on the public, like the people, like individuals, regular people. Because if I answer in like how I'm holding up, I'm a different being. I am deadlift, man. It's my whole life has been dedicated to having the strongest deadlift in the world and leave my mark in history as being one of the strongest deadlifters in the history of the world, which is happening. And I'm very grateful for that. And
It's been exciting to watch.
yeah, thank you. And at the same time, I want to bring people up with me that want to learn and not fear lifting in general, lifting with the deadlift, right? Picking up heavy weight. That's still a fear, right? So
Yeah.
I'm going to talk in their perspective. So the most important thing as an individual when things like this happen, like natural disasters, making it really simple, when life throws a monkey wrench at you, which it does often, you have to accept that that's an inevitability. You need to know that the first thing that you want to improve upon is reducing stress, right? That's the number one thing. So always dissect the problem about how, like, what would make the most impact. So what can you focus on that would make the greatest impact? So number one is stress, especially with coronavirus going on, COVID-19. You know, today is just, it's reached an even higher death toll, right? So the death rate just in California, it's reached an even higher death toll. I forgot the rate, but it's incredible. So it is a serious thing, something not to laugh about. And it's definitely immoral to go out and party on spring break like Miami, Florida. That's Miami, right? This guy's crazy, man. Anyway, now with all that information, reduce stress. So what you can do is start and focus on you first. How do you reduce stress? Very simple. Number one, you want to audit your sleep. Are you getting enough sleep?
Okay.
And then look at the things that cause you stress. If you're not getting enough sleep, get that. Okay. That will also help you be in a clearer state of mind, and you'll be more productive and you'll make the right decisions. Because you never want to make decisions when you're stressed out and you're lacking sleep. That's the worst, right?
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, especially when you're hustling. You never want to do that. You want to be on a place where you're comfortable and you have a sound peace of mind. Then the next step is, again, reduce the amount of things that cause stress. Like, let's say the news, right? Like the news, seeing people like fight over toilet paper, or like dying, or like causing panic. What is the point of watching that, right? There is no point. The point of that is to scare the public. So it's very simple. So one, sleep. Take away things that stress you out, like watching news. Okay. Although it is real, I think news is factual to a certain extent. You have to know that, like, you could die just walking down the street, get hit by a car, right? It's a statistic.
Right now, it could be an earthquake, knock me out.
But the thing is, you choose not to focus on that. Instead, you focus on what you need to do, which goes into the third thing, which is a routine. So if you're not having a routine, you got to make one. And especially during this time when you're in your house and you're not allowed to go somewhere, routine is something that you need to have the discipline of sticking to. Like, hey, even though you don't need to wake up early in the morning because you can't go home or you can't go out, wake up at a certain time every day. Have your breakfast at a certain time every day. Meditate, read, whatever you want to do. Plan out your day, make a routine. So very simple. Again, I always start with sleep. Like, why would sleep be bad, right? Unless you sleep throughout the whole day, then you got a different problem. Number two is then you address what is stressing you out and you remove that from your life, like news, media, or talking to your friend that just talks about, oh my gosh, this is happening. Be like, hey man, I'm too busy. I can't talk to you. I'll talk to you later.
Yeah.
And then the next thing is have a routine and then have the discipline to stick to all of that. And then you're set, man. Very simple. It's so simple. People won't do it. That's the thing. and they think that there's a better solution. But no, those are the fundamentals of keeping your mental and physical health high, right? Keeping it healthy. Now, for me personally, you asked, what was the question? You're like, hey, what are you doing for your mental health and physical health?
Yeah.
The thing is, I've been telling people, I've been doing it, right? I've been working out for since 2010, even before. I'm 34 now. So that's like 15 years, 16 years, man, in the game of taking care of myself physically, mentally, and taking care of others' physical and mental health. So why would I change a thing? Yes, I can't go to my own gym that I own. We're not an essential business, which I think it should definitely be an essential business, because that's where we're at now. People who are dying are the ones that have health issues or have a compromised immune system.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that tells what's the root of the problem. The root of the problem is you're not taking care of yourself physically, and that will also help affect your mental health. So when people ask, like, what are you doing? Well, I'm just doing what I can do that I've been doing for a while. And that's why I said it's an amazing time. And then now that I see it's getting more and more serious, I brought my own gym equipment. I'm blessed to have my equipment at my own gym. So I brought it over here at my new home.
That's cool.
So I'm set. I don't ever got to leave my house and nothing. Like, we're good.
Yeah. I'm feeling it. I have 2 houses. I just go from one house to the other one. And then, but I do, even one of the reasons, I reached out to you is because my health has been, my mood has been off, and my exercise routine has been off. Cause I'm not like the healthiest guy, but I try to get like a mile or 2 in every other day.
Yeah.
I always, like this morning, I did go for a walk. Like if I'm feeling stressed, one of the ways I stress normally for me is like an overload of information. So I do go for walks, but I haven't had and my mood has been off, but I haven't wanted to do no push-ups. I've been kind of like trying to hype myself up, but I haven't done anything physical. But it is funny because in my prayer and meditation, I did hear to keep a routine, wake up, because my routine was always the same before. I would go to bed at 12 and I would wake up at 8, making sure I got 8 hours of sleep. And then I could just, quote unquote, hustle for the 16 hours that were left. And that kept me in great shape. And then what happens is, like, sometimes when you get off of work, or you get off of, like when I would get off of work, I would be a little bit tired, but what gave me energy was actually going to the gym. So I would just have to go to the gym for about 45 minutes, 30 to 45 minutes to an hour, depending on the day. I'm in kind of maintain mode. I don't compete. So I just, if I lose some weights, it keeps me healthy. And that would give me enough energy to kind of finish out the day at top peak. And then I would have my nighttime routine. I would kind of just read and get ready for the next day. And that was prior to the COVID. Once the COVID hit, last night, I think I got off, I finished doing everything I needed to do maybe around 8. I took a nap probably from 8 to 10 p.m., woke up, and then I went to sleep at like 2 or 3. I told my partners I took today off from the project just to kind of catch up and get my body back on track. Because I've been on a weird loop because of this COVID-19. So
Everyone has.
So I do like what you said about getting back into a routine. And that will help bring my stress down. And so I definitely think that even if I, get into bed by 12, just kind of keep that around, 6 or 7, go for my run, do my push-ups, do my training. That will give me enough energy to go till 12 again. And then wake up in the morning, have my, eat my breakfast, do my early morning routine, and then come over to the real estate project and do everything I need to do. Fortunately, I have a place to go. I'm not just stuck in the house.
Yeah.
One house, but I am stuck either in this house or that house. I can't do too much more than that, but I do have a project that has been keeping me busy.
Yeah. So I love how you explained that, because you explained what I would say most 90% of people are going through, right? I run my business through, obviously I have a physical location, but I also have an online business, right?
Yeah.
And then even if I don't talk about my business, I talk about my own physical and mental health. I have always been waking up at a certain time. That hasn't been affected, right?
Yeah.
I don't really, well, now I own a TV because it's a new house. It's
Yeah.
my first house, and I want to make sure my wife loves TV. So
Yeah.
I was like, hey, you know what? We'll buy a TV. But before that, we've never watched TV. I mean, even now we still don't watch news because we don't have local, like, you know, we don't sign up for a satellite or anything. The only thing we watch is like Hulu or Netflix, and it's just movies without the commercials and the news. Because we're just so focused on what we're doing in our world.
Yeah.
And when you think about others, you know, like what's happening in their world, it's just terrifying sometimes. So it's like, you know, what is true? What is fake?
Yeah.
Instead, we just, what's the point of wondering what is true, what is fake?
For sure.
Instead, wonder what's happening with you and what's relevant to you. Yes, COVID-19 is affecting everyone, but look how you just how it affected your situation. You couldn't go to sleep. Your routine got out of whack, and then it decreased your productivity. But why? Why did you let it, or why did you allow that to happen? And I'll tell you, it's normal. It's because you're a normal human being, man. It's not that you're weak. The difference between me and you is we have different routines. It's just, and we absorb information differently. It's just more common for you to absorb information as would the average person, because I'm just into lifting. I look at my name. I.am.deadlift. That's all I'm about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just going to try the routine thing. I don't think, there's too much more to speak on. I definitely think, if you spoke on watching news several of times, and I can, we're going to talk about like skill development and things like that in a little bit, but I've taken advantage of the news. For me, I've never watched news ever. If you really read almost like mentors that I talk to just say, don't consume news because a lot of it's negative. And so it actually, I've seen studies where the news actually releases a hormone that freaks out your body. I don't know what hormone it is. I couldn't tell you. You can Google it, but it has negative effects actually on your physical body and your mental thing. It releases something like
it's cortisol. It's a stress
cortisol.
hormone. I got you, bro.
And so that's unhealthy. So I've never watched news, and so even my mom is a news junkie, and I'm not hating on her. I love my mom to death, but I
love your mom too, man.
Thank you. I have to cut it off sometimes because it's too much for me to handle, because it's like it doesn't really affect my world, but the news can get into your brain and affect in here. So I have to cut it off short. But I've never watched news. But right now there's a strategy to where you can make money in down times through like shorting stocks. So I've been reading. I just applied to like the Wall Street Journal. So I've been reading about different businesses that are quote unquote not doing good, and I've actually been building a business off of the stock market going down. So I do consume news, but it's only to like help me build my business and buy more assets, which can kind of go into actually before I transition. What are the best? So you are deadlift. What are some good, if someone doesn't have weights at the gym and they want to stay healthy through this pandemic, COVID-19, what are maybe 1 to 3 pointers that you could give people to kind of develop a workout routine? You said routine is very important.
Cool. Could I bounce it back to you first and ask like what would be this person's goals? You can give me different goals. It's up to you.
So I'll just give you my goals because I can't speak for everybody.
Yeah.
I want to like I haven't been eating the healthiest, but I have like a little bit of a gut. I just want to look nice. I want to continue to gain muscle and lose weight. So I want to still be able to gain strength, but I literally have, like, I can do the water bottle thing, but I don't have any weights. So
cool.
That's
awesome. So you're talking about fat loss and, maybe toning up and just maintaining your strength, or keeping the strength you have, or building a little bit more with this time, right? So I would tell you, number one, again, sleep. You got to have the fundamentals. Are you sleeping well? Because, dude, how do you feel when you get 8 hours of sleep?
Feel good, feel amazing,
You
ready to
feel,
rock.
and then now, how do you feel getting 8 hours of sleep as opposed to getting 2 hours or 4 hours of sleep?
Yeah, you're good right when you wake up, but you start breaking down mentally. You start
Yeah,
feeling weirdo, quote unquote.
exactly. So it's fair to say when you get at least 7 to 8 hours of sleep, you feel like a beast, right? Like, let's go, let's tackle this on. Let's go. We're hype, right? Making jokes and everything, as opposed to when you're like lacking sleep, you're just sluggish and you don't want to talk to anyone. You got to go get your coffee and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
One, sleep is number one because it'll keep you motivated and make you feel like a beast in a cage, like needing to do something. So sleep again. Number two, choose something that you can stick with. I would say if your goal is to still look good, not let yourself go and keep your muscle, fat loss is a priority for everyone. So very easy. Walk around the house, get your steps. Great. The fact that you said a mile is great. I would tell you to increase that eventually up to maybe 5 miles a day. That's actually really easy, especially if you're on your feet, you're walking around all the time. And then you can, and if that's too much, always go half. Like, oh man, I don't even walk, right? I don't do miles. All right, cool. Then just walk half that or whatever. Walk more than usual. Put a timer on. Okay.
That's cool. 5 miles.
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good.
Yeah.
At least you have a milestone.
Exactly.
And does it matter if I run or walk it or just do 5 miles step?
No, it doesn't matter. And in fact, I would encourage you to just to walk it, just chill, relax. Because if you're just, oh man, I gotta run, I gotta get this in, then you're stressing out again, and then that cortisol gets released, and what cortisol does is it forces your body to retain more weight. That's it. Like get fat, get water, retain water in your body.
Okay.
So be careful of that. So sleep, get your steps in, and then now let's talk about food, because food is what fuels everything you do, not just physically, but mentally, right? So if you're not getting enough food, guess what? Then you're going to be stressed out and you're not going to be feeling good. That's the double negative, right? Stressed out, not feeling good. You don't want that. So eat enough food, right? And then now you're going to ask what is enough? Well, are you getting a serving, like one serving of veggies, one serving of fruits, one serving of whole foods, right? Like cooked, like a lean meat, like steak or fish, something like that, right? So again, in terms of staying healthy through this time specifically, you want to make sure sleep, getting your steps in, getting your proper quality food in, you're really just taking care of yourself. Then guess what? Everyone and their mom is doing body weight workouts right now. Great. But they're not addressing the habits that they can practice right now to ingrain in themselves, so that when all of this goes away, you have the fundamentals mastered.
Yeah.
And then everything comes easy. When you have sleep, your food is good, and you're getting steps every day. Guess what? I promise you, you're gonna be one of those lean beasts that just want to just lean beast hustlers, man. I don't know how else to describe it.
For sure. I like that. I'm a lean beast hustler. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
And then my last question, should I be doing any push-ups or crunches or anything, or just focus on that?
Good. So I'll be completely honest with you with bodyweight workouts. Bodyweight workouts, they're great, okay? Especially if you don't work out. If you went from zero working out to bodyweight workouts, that's gonna be great for you for this time. Master that, okay? You should be able to do more as a man. You should be able to do 50 to 60 push-ups easily without stopping, okay? And for pull-ups, you should be able to do 15 pull-ups, 20 pull-ups, and that's just being nice. 30 pull-ups is you're like an insane athlete. But 15 to 20 for a man to do pull-ups, that's great. Now for women, if you're able to do 5 pull-ups, amazing. 10, you're like an insane athlete. Push-ups as a female, 20 to 30 without stopping, perfect form, everything. So you're gonna be that's the foundational levels that you want to shoot for. Now, when you reach that level, when someone who is at that level asks me hey, what should I do for working out? I'll tell you straight up, the focus right now, since there's a pandemic, is not to go to a gym, you know, or not to do more body weight workouts because you've mastered it. You're at that level already. It's just to bide your time and be patient. If you're already at this level and you're already kicking butt, like, oh, I could do 100 push-ups, 30 pull-ups, easy, right? Then guess what? You don't have to worry about losing your gains, man. You're fine. Like, just relax.
For sure.
Enjoy the time inside. Read a book.
For sure.
Learn a skill.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'll use that time, you know, I'll kind of just give my closing thoughts on that subject, and we'll kind of transition into building skills. So you're saying just pretty much just keep stress levels low, get good sleep, eat good, and then try to get your steps in, get up to, 3 to 5 miles
Yes.
of walking, get steps. Yeah. That could be around the house, that could be around the neighborhood.
Yeah. And lastly, to add to just one last thing, what you just said, the steps, the sleep, reduce the stress. Guess what? If you don't do that right now at this time, you may get susceptible to corona, man. You might get sick. It's not might. It's a matter of time of when you're gonna get sick because you're not taking care of yourself.
For sure.
Now, ball back to you.
All right, no, that's huge. So it can actually save your life doing these things. I know that staying healthy has helped me out so many times. So we will transition, so I am Deadlift, he loves to work out. So I wanted to start there. And so my thing that I'm really big on during this is skills development. I've been working on numerous skills. Mainly, I just told Aljay I did a music video. I literally have one sound to add to it, and then I'm done with my first music video. But that adds value. Like, you can charge $200 to $400 for a starter video. So that's more money that I can add, and I could train people on how to do it. You can build content around it. So it's, that's a huge skill. I actually learned a skill that so far has been profitable. You never want to brag because you never know how business goes, just how COVID-19, we've seen that firsthand, but I'm learning to short stocks. So that's where you make money when the stock market goes down. And then just continuing to build upon the skills, learning to podcast on Zoom. It's funny because I did a couple of Zoom podcasts before this, only 2 actually. And I'm glad that I learned that skill because now it comes in handy, but just continue to work on the skills that I have. I've still been doing design and just reaching out to people. But what are some skills and things that you want to come out of this COVID-19 pandemic with?
I have 2 skills. The first one, I moved into my new house, got the keys, me and my wife and our little dog. Thank you. On Valentine's Day. So on Valentine's Day 2020, I bought my wife a house. That's what I did.
That's what you got to do. Let's go.
And then from then, guess what? I didn't know what else. Like, I've never been a homeowner. So that's a new skill of like, what are we, like, how do you fix a door hinge? You just talk about hinges, man. This house is from 1990 and the door hinge isn't made anymore. And I'm like, I have to go back. Home Depot is now my toy store. I love it. I love Home Depot. So learning, being a handyman, more of a handyman for the house. Like, I made my own deadlift platform here at my house. Yeah. So it's like, and then people ask like, how'd you do that? I was like, oh dude, I got you. I'll teach you. So now I can teach people little things that still supplement my real thing, which is my business, my gym business, my online coaching business, right? So that's what I've been working on. So those are like I'm talking about life skills. Like, you need to have that, right? The other skill, I'm a little hesitant to say, but I'm gonna do it right now because no fear here. I'm studying to get my real estate license pretty soon.
Hey, no fear, no fear.
So that's getting cool. getting my continued education, getting on it right now.
It's a power move, man.
Yeah.
Real life power move.
And then in about a few months, I'll have my real estate license.
Congratulations. Now I have to get mine. Podcast is over.
Oh man. Hey, remember, this is a side note. Remember that bet? I was like, hey, let's race to see who can buy a house first.
So me and Aljay has, if anyone listening, me and Aljay I definitely consider him a friend. But me and Aljay just have always been like healthy competition, I would say. I've never felt like any animosity or like jealousy, but Aljay said he'll get his keys before I get my keys. And he did. He got his keys.
I did.
But I got mine like a week later. So.
Yeah, you did. You did.
You
did.
But Aljay has been someone who's pushed me. He's always one step ahead of me in certain areas, and I've always looked up to him. He's the only person I know that's the same age as me that I truly look up to, and I know for a fact that he'll get his real estate license. But even as we sit in this, as we talk about real estate, one of the skills that it's funny you say door hinges. I'm literally sitting in a fix and flip property that I bought a couple of months ago. It was ugly as all hell, and we gutted it. I'm on a brand new carpet with brand new paint. We got brand new baseboards, brand new plug sockets, brand new bathrooms. So I had to learn how to do all of that. I learned how to I didn't even know what mud was. I didn't know what anything was in a house. Nothing. I could go into your house now, punch a hole in there. I could fix that hole, paint the hole. Put new windows.
I'll tell you a story that relates to that. Do you know anything about light bulbs?
A little bit. What do you mean?
Like, hey, what kind of light bulb you have there right now? Is it bright white, daylight? Is it, soft white?
It's like, by looking at it's probably like 100 watt. Probably.
Nah, I'm talking about the color. So what's funny is I go to Home Depot and I call one of my best friends up, Matt Haluza. I know you know him. And because he's owned a home for like 5 years now. And I asked him, hey man, what's the best light bulb that I should get? And I realized like, oh my God, we're having a conversation about light bulbs right now.
Bro, do you know what so do you know what the hardest thing for me was in this is going to Home Depot and buying light fixtures? Literally so many light fixtures. Like you have to figure out what fan you want. You think, all right, if you have a fix and flip, you think like, okay, go buy it. Like if I said, Aljay, go buy a fan. That was all I told you. You would get there and there's
like so many
fans.
Yeah.
Even like a bathroom vanity. There's hella vanities.
Yeah.
So much stuff. Like it's mind-boggling.
The doorknobs, right?
Every single thing. And then you have to know, like for your house, it's already done. But for like a house, like you see this, like these doors.
Yeah.
Right? They have to you have to figure out, like, are they going to open in or are they going to open out? Are they going to open in and to the right? Or are they going to open in and to the left? Like, there's so much. I'm like, I don't know.
You can take out all the doors. No doors.
You know that bathroom doors 90% of the time open in. That's like a thing. And like, I asked, I was like, how? And like, everyone here has experience. I was like, it's a door. And they're like, oh, dummy, they always open in. I'm like,
they always open in. Yeah, bro.
There's a lot of stuff in buying. There's so much stuff.
There's so much.
It's add up too. Quick.
And I'll tell you this. So you're talking about skills. I love learning. I love being a homeowner, man. You learn a lot of stuff, especially going into it as with a partner, with a companion.
Yeah.
In my life, I always tell people I love being married. Marriage is amazing. I encourage everyone to get married. And the next happy thing that I've experienced that gives you the most happiness is buying a house together.
I can't imagine.
Yeah. It's like building.
Even in The Richest Man in Babylon, they talk about that.
Yeah.
They say like for a man, you want to be able to buy your wife. Like your wife respects you so much if she can plant her own fruit and seeds and has her own space and you know what I mean, and can decorate how she wants. And so I congratulate you. That's why literally like this whole project is so I can learn how to do fix and flips and buy houses at wholesale rates. So I don't have to pay retail for a house. But I commend you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Those are good skills. Yeah. I'm on the house hype. I'm about to
and what you said about, you thinking that I'm always one step ahead of you. I'm not, man. The thing is, the difference between me and you is I just take action just a little bit faster. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all, man.
For me, I think I say this with your good friend Ranbir. I think why I don't really trip and I'm not really like super competitive. I am becoming more and more competitive. as I get older and through my prayer and meditation, I do compete, but I feel like I already won. I feel like we already, like, when you wake up in the morning and you breathe, like, yeah, like, okay, let's get this house. Let's get strong. But it's like such a blessing just to like open your eyes and look at the natural beauty. And, so I'm very content at all times. So it makes me be able to move at a pace that I'm comfortable with, because I don't necessarily I don't think like, all right, I feel no better right now that this house is almost complete than I did when it was jacked up. Like I'm just happy to learn. I feel the same amount of happiness when I sell this, because the process never fully stops. Like even once I sell this house, I'm instantly going to start looking for another house to buy, and the process starts all over again. And then like little bit of information changes. Like I'll either have more zeros or less zeros. Like who knows? But I don't say like, if I sell this house, I'm happy. Or if I don't, like my happiness is, it just comes from waking up and being able to experience and talk to my friends and have a podcast and have really, really, really amazing people around me.
Yeah.
Who are into me, So
my wife is washing dishes right now. That's what the sound is. So yeah.
That's fine. Well, we talked about skills, and you actually touched on the last thing I want to talk about already, and it sounds like you already answered it. I just, I talked about like my mood being really weird, and I prayed about it, and what I heard is that you need to come out of this thing on top. And that's why I want to talk about working out, and that's why I talked about skills, is because you said something very important. When this thing's all over, I'm still going to have healthy habits.
Yep.
So I want to make sure, I think you already pretty much answered the question. My last question was, how do you stay happy and mentally sane during COVID-19 and being locked up in your house?
In my own house.
Yeah, locked up in your own house with your wife.
Well, my wife is actually an essential worker. She works in the health system. She actually analyzes cancer samples. So, like she needs to do that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But anyway, with her, it's all about keeping the routine. Our routine hasn't changed. Me and her still wake up at the same time. We do now realize like we can't go out, so we have to go and stock up a little bit more on food. Yeah. We don't go crazy and stock up on like 6 months and 1,000 rolls of toilet paper.
Yeah.
But it's just normal every day. Maybe so for people also who are buying food, I recommend the greatest advice I've ever gotten from another colleague who lives right by here is you should just buy food that you eat normally. Like buy more of it. That's it. Yeah. It's just like, following a routine. You're just now adapting to the current situation. So your routine should adapt and hopefully evolve so that you can be better and better prepared if ever something like this happens, right? Sure. That's all. Yeah. So number one, again, get your sleep down. If that's affected, resolve that immediately. And then now once you have enough sleep, you're caught up on sleep, then you can address your stress. What's causing you stress? Remove those things as much as you can, and then get into a routine. Very simple. That's it. That's in a summary, what I just said, all of those three things, sleep, reducing stress, following a routine, all of that in a nutshell is just adapting your routine and what you already do to the current situation. So simple, right? Crazy.
Cool. So we can end there. Tell your wife thank you for being an essential.
Yeah, you can sit right here. She's right here.
What's going on, G Money? The donut queen. You would have a donut shirt on.
I do.
How you doing? How's your dog?
Good. He's doing good.
How do you like the house?
I love it.
What's your favorite thing?
Huh?
What's your favorite thing about having the house?
Having a big ass TV.
I told you we never had TV. TV's right there.
So funny. Damn, that thing's huge.
Yeah, we can watch commercials now, and I can be like, "Oh, this commercial was so funny." You could never do that before.
I love my wife, guys.
Hey, You know what's funny about commercials? I never watch TV. And when you watch TV and commercials are interesting as hell when you first get back into TV, you're like,
like, hey, let's play that commercial again.
It was good seeing you.
Good seeing you.
So how can people follow you, Aljay, for the people listening on the podcast?
You guys can follow me. Just search anywhere. I am deadlift. I.am.deadlift. So I.am.deadlift. And you can see if you put that on Google, very simple. You'll find me on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Cool. So my name is JD Jondell. Everyone calls me JD. I'm the owner, operator of Part of the Culture. You can find me at partoftheculture.com, or you could find me on Instagram at Part of the Culture, spelled normal. Part of the Culture, spelled normal. Today's episode was sponsored by How to Fill Empty Pockets. It's a book on investing. You can find that in the link of my Instagram. It's actually free right now. I'm going to probably leave it up for like another week and then take that down. So I just want to thank everybody for listening. I want to thank you for reals, Aljay, for coming on here. I truly, truly look up to you, and I know that you're going to accomplish everything you want to. And just thank you for having such a positive outlook and just really pouring into the community. And that's why you're able to get your house, is because you help so many other people win that you're going to be able to forever win. And just keep at it, and you'll keep getting these amazing results.
1,000%. Thank you, man. Thank you for the opportunity.
Blessed day. I'm going to